brief view along the shambles. At the far end you can see how the houses nearly touch at the top. This is known as jettying. If you heard the shout Gare-de-Loup, you would very quickly get under the overhang of the buildings, as Gare-de-Loup means watch out for the water, and meant that the contents of somebody's chamber pot were about to be deposited on your head. Ahead of us is All Saints Pavement, which has a lantern tower instead of a spire. The lantern tower would have had a fire lit in days gone by to guide travellers back towards the city after dark. Today the tower can be seen lit up at night in memory of those who fought in the First and Second World Wars. Adventurers Hall can be found by alighting here. Level access can be found by turning left just ahead into Fossgate. You will then find the entrance about 1 minute's walk on the left. Built between 1357 and 1361, the Merchant Adventurers Hall is probably the finest medieval guild hall in Europe and stands on the original medieval street level. The timbers used in its construction were taken from trees that grew back in Viking times.
Inside we have the Merchant Adventurers Hall. What I would like you to do is pay attention on the larger beams of this room, or of this hall, sorry. The beams go from the very bottom right up to the very top of the ceiling. Hence this is why it's His Majesty's favourite place to come when he visits York. Also, I believe they do serve a lovely cup of tea. Not that he's told me, by the way. I must apologise, ladies and gentlemen. This next part, I cannot pronounce French, or I can't speak French apart from the word bonjour. But as we go over the River Foss, do have a little look to our left-hand side. A very famous French architect designed a bridge here to our left. I think it is absolutely beautiful.
Go past the Red Lion on our right, which claims to be the pub that occupies the oldest surviving building. It has an ancient bread oven thought to date back to the 1300s, and is said to be haunted by the ghost of Dick Turpin, the highway robber, who was said to have hidden there and escaped capture by jumping out of a top floor window onto his horse, a tale which has added to his folklore status. We move into Wormgate. This street was originally called Walbergate, possibly named after a female Viking warrior named Walber. It is one of York's oldest streets, following the line of the ancient Roman road to the east. Can you spot more cats on the buildings to the right? On the right, St Denis stands on the site of an earlier church. It has the oldest stained glass in York, and some parts of the church date back to Norman times. The church has had some bad luck over the years. Parts of it have been damaged or destroyed by cannon fire during the Civil War, by lightning strikes, gales, and by subsidence when drainage ditches were dug nearby. All these events have left the church much altered. It's shorter than it used to be without a spire, and with its entrance now in the place where a window once was. St Denis is named after the patron saint of France, Saint Denis. One of the windows shows a picture of Saint Denis, who was persecuted by the Romans and had his head chopped off. Legend says he bent down, picked his head up, and carried on walking to his grave. Saint Denis is not only the patron saint of France, but he is also known as the patron saint of headaches. We are now in Piccadilly, a modern street by York standards, which stands on the route of an earlier medieval street of unnamed origin. Renamed after its London counterpart, Piccadilly was built to be a bustling shopping street, and has never scaled to the height of its London namesake. In recent years, a lot of this area fell into disrepair, but these days it is getting an upgrade. The River Foss, the smaller of York's two rivers, runs behind the buildings on our left. It is because we have two rivers in York, the Foss and the Ouse, that the city exists where it does today. The two rivers meet some distance away from us to form a narrow section of land which was easily defendable. This is one of the main reasons the Romans set up camp here in AD 71. This area was ideal to control the warring tribes and trade with them. The Romans called this place Iberacum, possibly meaning place of the yew tree, and that was the start of this great city.
sure if anyone on here is a pizza lover, but Cressy's on our left hand side, ladies and gentlemen. If you do decide to have a little pizza this afternoon, please do mention Golden Tours, where he offers a nice little discount as a Golden Tours customer.
Early 1980s, over 40,000 pipes were making settlement for an earth beautifully preserved by the city run around here. What was found here completely changed what you were back in life. Here you can see what was found in New York Hiking Centre, where you can travel back in time over 1,000 years in York history to experience the sights, the sounds, and even the smells of hiking. Visit the Hiking Centre from our next stop. Straight ahead is the known as the Massacre of the Jews. In 1190, anti-Jewish feeling was